Okay, so what's going to be the first step here? Now we're multiplying fractions together, but it still starts with the same first step, which is?
I would say factor them all out.
Factor them all out. Lots and lots of factoring. Okay, so how would you factor the first numerator?
X minus 6 and x plus 6.
And the denominator?
That would be a 6 and a 4, a negative 6 and a positive 4.
Then you want to see if there's anything that cancels. It doesn't matter which fraction it's in, as long as it's in the numerator and the denominator, it can be canceled out.
So then both the x minus 6's cancel out, and then the x plus 4. So it's just x plus 6 over x.
This is another example where the x's do not magically cancel out and just give you an answer of 6, right? The x in the numerator is being added, right? Anytime something's being added or subtracted to something else, it doesn't cancel out unless you see the identical thing, right? So the only thing an x plus 4 can cancel out with is another x plus 4, right? It can't cancel out with anything else.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Okay, and we keep going. More factoring. So take a minute, see if you can do all the factoring, and then I'll go over it with you.
Okay.
Okay, so how does that first numerator factor?
All right, so it's z plus 5 and z plus 2.
Good, and then the first denominator?
Z plus 10 and z minus 1.
Perfect, and then the second numerator?
It's z plus 4 and z minus 1.
Good, and then the last denominator?
Z plus 4 and z plus 2. I mean z plus 2 and z plus 2.
There you go. I put little slashes through my z's because otherwise they look like two.
I do the same, yeah.
Something. They look like something else. Okay, definitely not the easiest letter to work with. Okay, so what cancels out here?
All right, so the z plus 2 on the numerator and the denominator. The minus 1's cancel out. All right, so then you get the plus 5 and the plus 4 over the plus 10 and the plus 2.
Okay, division is almost the same as multiplication because the first step when you divide is to do what?
You got to factor it first.
You can factor it first, yes, but what division is really the same as doing what?
Well, you got to flip it.
Yes. So you can think of the KFC, right? The keep flip change is one way to think about it. Or think about it that you're multiplying by the reciprocal. So you keep the first fraction the same. Flip over the second fraction. And then change from division to multiplication. And then you're absolutely right. We need to go ahead and factor. So the first denominator, or the first fraction, excuse me, is already factored. But the second fraction, we still need to factor. So what can we factor out of the numerator?
X plus 3. Wait, on which one?
So
on the second fraction, you can get, you can pull out the 3. So you can get an x minus 3 inside parentheses. And then on the bottom, you can do x minus 3 and an x plus 3.
Good. And if you rewrote the numerator twice, that's not a bad idea. So if instead of writing x plus 3 squared, you wrote x plus 3, that could actually
help
see what to do next. So I realized what you were about to say.
That's why it confused me. I'm like, oh, wait, you already.
I just rewrote it, but that's absolutely a great idea to possibly do that. Okay, so what cancels out here?
The x plus 3's, one of them.
One of them. I'm just going to get rid of the squared and then this one. Yep.
One of the x minus 3.
Good.
So then you have on the top for the numerator, you have 3 times x plus 3 over x minus 3.
Okay, so walk me through what to do in the next problem.
Okay, so that one, I'll go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the first one as x minus 2 and x plus 2.
Okay.
Over 8x. And then flip the other one, so it'll be 4xy over 2 minus x.
Okay.
So out of the second one, I'm going to pull a -1 to make that an x minus 2.
Good.
And then the x minus 2 and x minus 2 cancels out.
Good.
So then you have the 4xy. Can I go ahead and I can go ahead and cancel out the 4 and the 8 too, right? And break that down before okay. All right, so then that becomes a 1 over 2. So 1/2, and then the x's cancel out.
Good.
So then you have a y and an x plus 2 on top. Over a 2 on the bottom, and it's all negative. Did I do that right?
And you can put the negative out front if you want. Very good. Okay, so now we're all done with the multiplying and dividing. So we're now going to subtract, which is a little bit different because with multiplying and dividing, you're just factoring and canceling things out. But when you're adding or subtracting, you need to have a common denominator.